Hello and welcome to episode 127 in the Datapack tutorial series. We're in version 1.21.4. We're going to be making a pipe valve. Now we've made this before with commands only. It was episode 399. But I want to use it in my map that I'm making, so I've redone it for a Datapack. So what the idea is, here's our little pipe valve. And we can turn it on, and we can turn it off. We can also lock it as well. If we do tag, there's the UUID. Add locked. Now we can't open it, just says it's locked. We can lock it open or closed. I won't demonstrate that just to save time. There we go. In the command block only version, I go into more detail. In fact, we can see this is made up of quite a few little bits. We've got one bit here. We've got one bit here. We've got an up bit. We've got the valve, and we've got a little sort of wool indicator, whether it's open or closed. In the command block only version, I build it one bit at a time. So we start with this, then we start with this. To save time in this version, I'm going to build the whole lot all in one go, and then we'll do a test. That's probably going to go well, isn't it? Anyway, let's get on and build it now. Okay, here we are in VS Code. I've added some folders and files, like I normally do. So inside my namespace function, I've added two folders. I've added admin and valve. Inside admin, we've got give egg place, give egg remove, tick place, tick remove. And inside valve, we've got toggle valve, valve closed, valve locked, valve open. And we're going to use the load and the tick function as well. I think we'll start with the admin functions. So we'll do give egg place. And we're just going to make a spawn egg that puts down a marker, and then we can execute things at that marker. These are only going to be used while we're building the map. Once we finish building the map, we won't be using these, and we can disable them. So let's give @s a slime spawn egg. Oh, has it decided it's not going to do the autofill for me? We'll have a custom name. Now, I do recommend using namespaces in Minecraft, but since this is not autofilling for me today, I probably will miss a few off just to save some time. Okay, let's have a couple of apostrophes. Let's have some speech marks, and we'll just say valve place and entity data equals open and close. We need an ID. What is it going to spawn? Well, I want it to spawn a Minecraft marker. Marker. And I want it to have a tag. Tags. And we'll call it valve place. Okay, so that should give us that spawn egg. Let's copy that. Copy. Let's take it to give egg remove, and let's put it in there. We'll just change it from a slime to a strider. So we've got a green egg for placing and a red egg for removing. Let's change its name. Valve remove. Let's change its tag. Valve recove. How was that even close to remove? Okay, let's save that. Let's pop back. Let's do a reload. Let's do function, give egg place, and give egg remove. Okay, we've got our eggs. Let's do a data check on one of them. Data get from entity myself selected item. Okay, it's spawning a marker with a tag. That looks good. Okay, since we've done one, we might as well do the other because it's just running the same command again. And that one says valve remove. Okay. F3D, clear the chat. Let's change the view as well. There we go. Okay. Now we need to be able to remove that one. And we also need to be able to place one. Let's do remove first, since we've already got one in the world. Okay, let's do tick remove. So we're going to remove the barrier block because there's a barrier block in it. So we'll just do set block. I think, yeah, we'll keep doing this. We need to run this with the tick function, but we'll fill this one in first, and then we'll do the tick. So we'll set block 1 beneath the marker to air. That's going to remove the barrier, and we will kill any entity whose tag equals valve. Let's say sort equals nearest, let's set the limit to 6 because there's going to be 6 entities that we want to get rid of. I think there is 3 pipes, one on the left, one on the right, one facing up. There's the valve handle itself, there's the interaction entity, and there's the little wool which was green or red marking its colour. So that's 6 we want to get rid of. And we'll just put a distance as well, just to be extra safe. Distance equals less than 2. And we better remove the egg as well. Gil S. Okay. So at the moment that's not going to be doing anything. So let's do the tick function. Off we go to tick. So place a valve egg. Okay, we'll fill the whole tick function in. Execute as any entity whose type equals Minecraft marker, whose tag equals valve, valve place, at entity, or at itself, run function, no autofill, run function, no ability to spell, run function, tick place. Okay, and let's just copy all of that. Copy, stick it down in there. Let's change that from tick place to tick remove, and change that at the end to tick remove. Okay, now these are the admin commands. That's why I've put them in this little big box sort of thing here. So when the map is finished and we've made it, we can just comment these out and they're not running anymore. And let's put the toggle the valve as well. Execute as any entity whose type equals Minecraft interaction, whose tag equals valve input, at itself, on target. So now it's only going to go further if it has been interacted with, but I want this to be running as the interaction. But we are running at the interaction at the moment. So what I can do is say on target, and then we can just say as the nearest type equals interaction, tag equals valve input. So what we're doing here, we're executing as it and at it. Then we're executing as the target, the person who right-clicked on it, but still at the interaction. And now we're switching as back to the nearest interaction. Well, itself is nearest to itself, so it's going to select itself again. Run function, toggle valve. Okay, so that's tick done. So we should be doing remove now, should be working. Let's go and have a look. I was going to type remove then, but reload. Let's do F3B to see hitboxes. Now we said remove the barrier beneath the marker, so clicking here won't remove the barrier. So I'm going to click on top of the barrier block, like so. And, well, what we see is we've got rid of the barrier, and everything else stayed for some strange reason. But, well, can we see why? It's because we've put the tag as Vlav. Valve. There we go. Oh dear. Let's go back. Let's do a reload. And we'll put the barrier block ourselves because we need to be able to click on that. So let's get the barrier block and put that back in. There we go. And let's try again. So we click on top of the barrier block and everything disappears. Now if I do execute as any entity whose type equals not player, run say hi, no one says hello. So we haven't got any hiding entities that we can't see anywhere in loaded chunks. So that's a good sign. Okay, so we've done remove. Let's do place. Now this is going to be the one with the longest command, or the trickiest command, but we'll break it down. I think what we'll do is we'll do the easy bit. So we'll remove the egg that we used. We'll place the barrier block. We'll set the interactions state score. So we'll do scoreboard Okay, remember it's not auto-filling for me. Scoreboard, players, set, nearest, square brackets, type equals Minecraft interaction, tag equals valve input, valve state 0. So now we've given it a score. Okay, and let's create the valve. We are going to summon an interaction a little bit above the egg. So let's say 0.6. I've already checked these values before. Sometimes you just have to play around with them to get it to be the exact values you want. Let's give it some tags. Let's say it's part of the valve, and it is the valve input. Let's give it a width. 0. I want it a bit smaller than the block, so 0.8, and we'll give it a height. 0.45 I found worked nicely for me. Response true, that means when I right click on it my arm will move. If I set that to false or leave it out, my arm won't move. And we're going to want a load of passengers. Passengers will be a list, and I want 5 passengers. Yeah, 5 passengers. So I want 1 passenger, 2 passenger, 3 passengers, 4 passengers, 5 passengers. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to use the backslash, and I'm going to put a backslash. I'm going to split these passengers up onto their own separate lines just to make it a bit easier. So after the first passenger, I'm going to do space. Before the first passenger, I'm going to do space, put that backslash in. Then after the first passenger, space, backslash. Oh, we'll leave that comma there actually. Let's keep that comma, space, backslash, enter, space, backslash, enter, space, backslash, enter, enter. Okay, so now that command is doing exactly the same thing as it was a minute ago, but now we've got all our passengers on their own separate lines, which is going to make it much easier to look at and read. So let's do tags for the passenger. It will be part of the valve, and it will be, let's say it's valve pipe 01. We're never going to be referencing this itself, but it's kind of handy just to give it a tag anyway. Okay, so let's give it an ID. So what is the passenger going to be? It is going to be a Minecraft block display. Now, each time I'm saying Minecraft, it's a good idea to do Minecraft. As I say, I'm just saving time. Minecraft block display, that's all right. We'll have to give it a block state, or a clock state even. A block state. What is the name of the block we want to display? I'm going to say it's going to be a Minecraft lightning rod. Let's come out of block state. We're going to need some transformation information, for which we'll need a left rotation, and we're going to use the axis style here. So let's do open and close curlies. Inside there we'll have axis, open and close square. After that we'll have an angle. The angle will be 1.57. That's in radians, so I believe that would be a quarter turn. And the axis will be 0f, 0f, 1f. We will be rotating it on this axis. Okay, now let's stay inside transformation but come outside of the left rotation axis. We'll do right rotation. That's just going to be default. So we'll use the usual square brackets, 0f, 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 1f. We will need a scale. That's going to be, we are going to be playing with this a bit. For this one, it's going to be 1F, 0.5F, 1F, and we'll need a translation. And our translation will be, again, these are just numbers that I've played with to make it fit where I want it. I'm not going to move it on the X. I'm going to move it minus 1.05 on the Z. And I'm going to move it minus 0.5 on the Z. Sorry, minus 1.05 on the Y, minus 0.5 on the Z. Okay, now that looks all right. What I might do is see if that works. Even though these passengers are empty, let's see if that works. Even if it doesn't do what we want, it's also always helpful to do some testing. Okay, so we've got the interaction. Yes, that's what we wanted. And we can see we've got our first passenger. There's our pipe. Okay, now as I said before in the intro, in the command block only version, I go through all of these one by one and add them slowly. In this version, I am going to literally just add them all now to save a bit of time. So we've got one done. Now I want to do pipe 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that first passenger. Copy, paste it into the second one. Let's change its name to pipe 2. It's still going to be a block display. It's still going to be a lightning rod, but I'm going to want to change its angles and things a bit probably. Its left rotation, we're going to put, instead of 1F, we're going to change that to minus 1F. Right rotation is the same. Scale is the same. And translation is going to be, let's have a look here, minus 0. Yeah, and okay, let's save that. Do you know what? It doesn't take any time to do a bit of testing between each one. Let's do a bit of testing between each one. There's my egg, there's my egg. There we go, we've got both. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go back. Right, next we're going to do the valve up pipe. And you know what? I think I'm going to copy this again. And let's paste it in for the next one. So we'll call this valve. I don't know, I just called it an up pipe, didn't it? Let's call it up pipe. I think that's what I called it originally. It's still a block display. It's still a lightning rod. Transformation, though, is probably going to be a bit different. So left rotation, actually, I'm going to have as default. So I'm just going to copy the default from right rotation here and paste that over the axis and the angle. Default left rotation, default right rotation. Scale is going to be the same. Its translation we will have as minus 0.5, minus 0.5, minus 0.5 again, and minus 0.5 again, I think. So let's save that. Let's go and have a look. Let's do a reload. Let's place that eggy down. Yay, there we go. Looking good. We now got a little up pipe. In fact, maybe you could just use that as a pipe itself. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. Could we just... there we go. So if you wanted a join, you could use it as a join. There's a little bit of Z fighting there because that one is actually inside that one. So you could lower that down a bit. Anyway, stop it. Stop it. Getting carried away. Let's get rid of that. Well, let's add the next bit. Okay. So this one is going to be a different item, but it's still going to have tags. It's still going to have all the rotations. So let's just copy this again. Let's copy this passenger again. Put that in there. This is going to be the valve. Let's call it the handle because it's the bit that we're going to turn. It's still going to be... Actually, I'm going to use an item display for this. I find turning them around sometimes and pivoting them on their center a bit easier. Not a lightning rod though. I want a waxed copper trapdoor. I suppose a normal copper trapdoor would work as well because it's an item display, so it's not actually going to, what is it, corrode or oxidize? Oxidize. Right, transformation information. I'm going to keep that as default. I'm going to keep right rotation as default. Its scale, I want it to be a bit smaller than a block, 0.8 on the X and Z. And I do 0.8 on the Y as well. Yeah. Let's do 0.8 on all of them. Translation is going to be 0. Moving it on the Y, I think I will move it up by 0.2. And on the Z, I think we'll have as 0 again. Let's save that. Let's go and do a little test. Reload. Pop you in there. What? I don't... Where are you? Are you hiding in the ground somewhere? Hello? Where have you gone? Where's that command that gets people to talk? Item... Well, it's there because it says item display. Aha! Okay, I know what we've done wrong. Well, let's go back and fix it. Now, an item display doesn't have a block state. So, not going to work. An item display, instead of block state, we need item. But apparently, items don't use names. They use IDs. So, let's try that. Let's go back. Let's do the reload. Pop down our egg. There's our handle. Okay, nice. Now let's just finish off with the little bit of wool. I know this bit's taking a while. After this, it gets much quicker. So we're going to want another block display. So I'm going to copy one of the block display passengers. There we go. Let's copy that one. And we'll put this in here. And we'll call this valve. Well, let's say it's a light. We'll call it, it's an indicator light. It's a block state, yeah. We're summoning it closed, so we'll have red concrete powder. And its transformation information, well, left rotation and right rotation, we're going to keep as default. Its scale, we're going to make it very small, 0.1 on the X and Z. In fact, we'll do 0.1 on the Y as well. Okay, and now we need to move it. We'll translate it by minus 0.05, minus 0.05 on the X and the Z, and we'll move it down by 0.09. As I say, all of these values, these translation values, usually what I do is I say, I'll move it down one block. Oh, that's too low. I'll move it up a little bit, and I just fiddle with them till I get it right. Okay, let's try this one. Reload. Bang. There's our light. Cool. Okay, that is probably the most annoying and longest bit done. We F3B turn off hitboxes. If you're in adventure mode, you won't see the outline of the barrier block, so that will look much nicer. Let's go in adventure mode and just check that. There we go. So that's what you're going to see if you're in adventure mode. We've got a nice little valve pipe there. Okay, creative. Well, let's go back. Oh, I have no idea where we are. We've got tick remove working, obviously. And here we're setting a state. Oh my God, look what we're setting. Valve state. There we go. Let's get that right. Here we're setting a state. How many times am I going to get the word valve wrong? But we haven't actually created this score yet. So let's go off to load. And we'll do scoreboard. We'll try to scoreboard. Objectives. Add. Valve state dummy. I made a mistake on valve state so many times. It's worth checking if anything goes wrong. That is where I'll be looking first. Okay, so we've done load function. I'm going to close down some of these windows. Control K W. We've done tick function. So we've got place and remove. I suppose we go off to the actual functions that are going to be used when someone's playing the game. So toggle valve. Okay. Let's go off to toggle valve. Exit the function is the valve is locked. Okay. And this is running, what are we running this as? Always worth checking. Execute as type interaction at S on target, but as the nearest type interaction. So it's running as the interaction that we're clicking on. So it is running as F3B, this interaction here, which is outlined in white. Okay. So let's go off to toggle valve. Exit the function is the valve is locked. Well, that tag will be stored on the interaction. So we can do exit or execute as S. Tag equals locked. Run. And we don't want to go any further. So we'll run return run function. And we'll run valve locked. In there we'll play a sound, we'll send a message, etc. We'll come back to that. Let's remove the interaction data. Data remove entity at S interaction. So now it's going to forget that someone interacted with it. It's all right because we don't need that anymore. We've already grabbed it because we can use at S anywhere in this function. So it's fine. It doesn't matter that we remove that. Let's toggle the valve state score. We will execute as S scores equals valve state. No, what am I doing? That's not how we do it. No, we can do this simpler. We can execute store result success score at S valve state if score at S valve state matches 0. Okay, so what's happening here? What we're doing, let's say we come in and we've got a state of 0. We come down here and we say, is the state 0? It goes, yes it is. Therefore, I am successful. I will store a 1 in valve state. So we've changed it from 0 to 1. But if we come through and we're on 1, is the valve state 1? No, it's not. Therefore, I'm not successful. And we'll store a 0. So this is with one nice little command. Very handy command, this one. We are toggling between 0 and 1 each time we run through. Because you could imagine if we said, if state equals 1, then set state to 0. And the next line said, if state equals 0, then set state to 1. Well, it's just going to run both of those in a row. We don't want that. So this is a very useful little toggle. Right, now we want to open the valve. So we'll check a score. Execute as S scores equals valve state equals, what should we do? We'll say open. Why are you unhappy with me? What have I done wrong? Oh, here we go. Put an extra square bracket in there. I think it might have auto-filled that one for me. Run function valve open. And I'm going to copy that because it's very similar to close the valve. So we'll run close valve and we're checking if the score is 0. Now, it doesn't matter if we're opening or closing it. We're going to play the same sound anyway. So we'll do that here. Play sound. Minecraft block dot copper. It's just called copper door, isn't it? Copper door, and we'll say the open sound. Which channel do we want to play? Let's play it on the block channel. We'll pretend that it's a block for all players at the coordinates of the interaction. 1. That's going to be quite loud. No, that should be all right, but we'll want to make it longer and lower the pitch, so let's set that pitch down to 0.1, minimum volume of 0. Okay. Will this do anything? Is there anything here we can test? Let's just add some temporary commands. Let's go to valve locked. Say locked. Valve open. Say open. Valve closed. Say close. Okay. Now, one of those we're not going to be able to check. Actually, we might be able to. Yeah, because we are toggling the state. So let's do a reload. Well, that's nice. Okay, so nothing happening at all. Let's do a function. Check we haven't made a mistake somewhere. I do not see, on my list here, I do not see toggle valve. So, pretty good indication that we have made a mistake inside toggle valve. So let's go to toggle valve and have a look at it. Now, it could be something really simple. Quite often is. Let's have a look at these. Execute as tag locked. Run, return, run, function valve locked. Now that looks all right. Data remove entity add S interaction looks all right. Execute store result as a success. Store. There we go. I'm trying to store the result and the success. Store success score. Save that. Go back. Reload. Oh, there we go. It remembered. So we closed it. We've opened it. We've closed it. Nice. Okay. Can we lock it? Do I still have that command here to lock it? Remove locked. Oh, it's going to be a different interaction entity, isn't it? Oh, tag. That new entity. Add locked. Oh. Uh-oh. Why is it spamming? Well, we're not removing the interaction entity now. Let's have a look at what's happening. So I've clicked on it. We're coming into the function. We are set, it does have locked. We're going to run valve locked and then leave this function. Well, this is where we're removing the entity interaction. So it's coming into valve locked. It's saying locked. Then it's coming out of valve locked, back to toggle valve and exiting. So it's just going to spam that forever now. So we better fix that. Okay. So why not start with valve locked? Okay. What are we going to do? Well, first of all, I'm going to copy that interaction bit from there. Let's go to locked and we'll remove it in there. Let's play a sound. Let's do a slightly different sound. Let's do play sound. Block dot copper underline trapdoor. Open, close, doesn't matter, as long as it's a similar sort of sound. We'll play it on the block channel. We'll play it for all players at those coordinates. Volume of 1, we'll turn the pitch down again. Minimum volume of 0, and let's do a message as well. So for the message, I want the player that interacted with the interaction entity to get the message. Let's not show anyone else. So let's do execute on target. Yeah, that'll do. Execute on target. Run. Tell raw at S. Open and close. Boing boing. Some of these things here. And let's do red. Color. Text. We'll just say locked. Wow! Spam them with those exclamation marks. Let's go back and have a little test on that. Reload. Okay, it stopped. Cool. Locked. Locked. Okay. Definitely locked. Right, what are we going to do next? Well, I suppose it's closed at the moment, so probably helpful if we opened it. So let's go down to valve open. And we want to move the handle, so we're going to merge some data in. We're currently executing as the interaction entity, so let's do execute on passengers. So now it only has to search the passengers, not every entity, as S, whose type equals item display. Yes, the handle is an item display, isn't it? So type equals item display. Yeah. Tag equals valve handle. Run data merge into an entity. That entity. And I'm going to merge in some transformation. In there. I'm going to merge in a left rotation. Left rotation. It took me a long time to work out how to get these working. I am really bad at transformation data, but I found out that this works. So, and I'm going to use 0f 2.402 no 2.402 f 0f 1f. So that is going to twist it around. That's going to twist it around a bit. Translation. And since we're twisting around a bit, 0f, I'm going to also, I think we want to lift it up a bit as well. 0.249 f 0f. Okay, and we're not going to change the scale, but I'm going to do start interpolation. Which frame will it start on? Which frame of animation? Start interpolation at 0. Okay, that seems alright. Let's change the wall marker as well. Execute on passengers as S type equals block display. What did we call it? Tag equal, what did we tag it rather? Valve, I think we called it valve light, didn't we? Valve light run data merge entity at S. I'm going to want to merge it in a new block state. All we want to do is change the block that it's using. So new block state, we'll change its name to green concrete powder. Okay. Let's save that. We have. Let's go back. Let's do a reload. It's probably still locked. It is indeed. Let's remove that lock. Remove. It's not locked now. Open does nothing. And close says close. Oh well, at least we've only broken one thing. It's not too bad. Let's do our function thing and see if it's... look, valve open has gone now. So we've obviously made a mistake in here. Now, I think what we'll do is we'll take this command. We'll take it over here. And we'll paste it in as a command here. Straight away we can see there's probably a problem. Execute on passengers. Oh, hang on. Oh no, I thought maybe it had gone off the end of the page. Let's have a look. As S. So the problem seems to be in our transformation data. Transformation, left rotation, open square, 0F. That, to me, looks like a comma, not a full stop. That could be worth checking. It is indeed. Let's put a full stop in there. There we go. Think that's probably it. Let's go back. That comma full stop one. Oh, that's caught me out before. Oh my golly gosh, that was fast. Okay, why was it so quick? Well, let's go back. Now there's nothing in here to fix for why it was so quick. What it is they are effectively sort of teleporting it, but it's instant. It's sort of like, okay, I'll do that instantly. What we need to do is we need to give it an interpolation duration. And we'll do that when we summon it. So let's go to tick place. And it is our handle. So it's this passenger here. And we want to give it interpolation duration. So that's going to be, well, how long does it take to get from the initial state to the end state? So let's just go to the end of this passenger. Here we go, but we'll stay inside the little blue brackets there. And we will give it an interpolation duration of 1. Let's try that. Wow, no, that's going to be very fast. 1 tick. That seems a bit too quick for me. Let's go a bit. Let's say 8 tick, nearly half a second. There we go. Right, let's go back. Let's do a reload. Now, obviously, nothing's going to happen at the moment. We'll have to get rid of this one and create ourselves a new one. Now let's try it. Aha! Now it takes 8 ticks. And we've got a nice slow turn. Now we can do a demonstration on that. If we go back, it's always nice to demonstrate things. If we change this from 8 to 40 ticks, it's now going to take 2 seconds to turn around. Oh, I've put it in the wrong place. Go away, you. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. Well, let's go back. Let's change this duration to 8 so it's nice and quick again. Let's save that. And we've got valve open done. I think what we'll do is we will just copy that, because we never make mistakes when copying and pasting things. We'll just copy that and we'll pop it into valve closed. And, well, let's do the easy one. We just want to change it from green concrete powder back to red concrete powder. So that was nice and easy. And now we can change the rotation as well. And I think for the left rotation, we will set it back to 000F. And what about its translation? Well, we want to come down a little bit. 15. Let's try that. Reload. Okay, why is it so slow? Well, because it's still the same old one. We did change it in the code, but this is still using the old. So we'll have to summon a new one. Go away. Come back. Nice and quick. Nice and quick. Hey. Now what we can do is if we want to know if it's on or off, it's got a state. So we can do scoreboard objectives, set display on the sidebar, val state. There it is. If the state equals 1, the valve is open. If the state equals 0, the valve is closed. So now we can do stuff. If it's locked, it will say it's locked. In my map, I think I'm going to have locked, and it will say, oh, it's too stiff. You'll need to find some oil. And then the player's going to go and get some oil. And then they'll squidge, 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 put some oil on. That will unlock it, and they can start playing with it again. Anyway, this has gone on long enough. Let's remove those hitboxes and remove this sidebar display. And we'll say goodbye. It's getting hot here again. I'll tell you what. Pretty warm at the moment, so I'm going to open my window and get on with some work. So, take care. I will see you all soon. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.